In 1984, in a quiet town on Long Island, New York, teenagers still walked home alone after midnight without fear. No one imagined that the darkness surrounding them was hiding something terrifying. A 15-year-old girl vanished without a trace. Just a few months later, another teenage girl was found dead under circumstances that shocked the entire community. Police quickly arrested suspects. A confession was made. 3 men were convicted. But more than 20 years later, modern DNA testing would completely turn the case upside down. Had justice gone in the wrong direction all along? Or had the real killer remained free for more than 4 decades? In today's episode of Real Criminal Story, we take a closer look at the case of Teresa Fusco, one of America's most controversial cold cases, where the line between truth, memory, and the justice system became more blurred than ever before. This video is presented in a documentary and analytical format based on publicly available investigation records and verified sources. This content does not promote violence or encourage extreme conclusions. All individuals mentioned are presumed innocent unless proven guilty in a court of law. If you enjoy real criminal investigations, unresolved mysteries, and cases that sparked debate across America for decades, subscribe to Real Criminal Story so you don't miss future episodes. Kelly Morrissey was only 15 years old when she left home after dinner in June of 1984. She told her family she would be back before 9:30 p.m., but Kelly never returned. At first, many people assumed she had simply run away. Back then, missing teenager cases were far more common than people realize. There was no social media, no phone tracking, no surveillance cameras on every corner. A person could disappear almost without leaving a trace. But to Kelly's family, none of it made sense. Her friends said she showed no signs of wanting to leave. Her mother believed Kelly would never cut off contact with the people she loved. So what really happened that night? 5 months later, another girl disappeared. Her name was Teresa Fusco. She was 16 years old. She was last seen leaving her shift at a popular roller skating rink called Hot Skates. If you grew up in America during the 1980s, you probably understand what places like Hot Skates meant back then. It wasn't just a skating rink. It was the social center of teenage life, a place where people met friends, listened to music, flirted, hung out on weekends. And it was also the last place Teresa Fusco was ever seen alive. That night, she was supposed to sleep over at her best friend's house, but she never arrived. At first, no one panicked, because during that era, a teenager being a few hours late wasn't considered unusual, until the next morning. Then another day passed, and people started asking questions. Was this really just a coincidence? 2 teenage girls, same area, disappearing within months of each other. Or was someone quietly hunting victims in the shadows? 25 days after Teresa disappeared, her body was discovered in a wooded area near railroad tracks. The news devastated the entire community. According to investigators, Teresa had been assaulted and killed under extremely disturbing circumstances. This was no longer a missing person case. It had become a homicide that would haunt Long Island for decades. And at the time, police believed they had found the killer. A man named John Kogut became a suspect. After hours of interrogation, he confessed. Not only did he confess himself, he also implicated 2 other men. The case appeared to be closed. 3 men were convicted. The victim's family believed justice had finally been served. But then, a troubling question began to emerge. If they were truly guilty, why didn't the DNA evidence match any of them? That question became the center of controversy for years. Can a confession always be trusted? Or in some cases, can people confess because of psychological pressure, exhaustion, or fear? It became one of the most debated topics in American criminal justice, especially in cases involving interrogations that lasted for hours. Some experts believe that when a person is isolated for too long, deprived of sleep and repeatedly pressured, the line between real memory and suggested memory can become dangerously fragile. But others asked a different question. If he was innocent, how did he know so many details? That debate divided the public for years. Then, in 2003, modern DNA testing changed everything. The results revealed that the DNA found on Teresa's body did not belong to any of the 3 convicted men. Their convictions were overturned. After spending nearly 2 decades behind bars, they were released. And suddenly, an even more terrifying question emerged. If they were not the killers, then who actually murdered Teresa Fusco? And had the real killer remained free all these years? Many people began re-examining the original investigation. Did police move too quickly? Did the pressure to solve the case push investigators in the wrong direction? Or was this simply the limitation of forensic science in the 1980s? What made the story even more unsettling was this. For years afterward, the case remained cold. Until 2025, when genetic genealogy technology changed everything once again. Investigators announced they had identified a new suspect, Richard Bilodeau, a man who had reportedly lived a quiet and largely unnoticed life for decades. According to prosecutors, DNA collected from a discarded cup matched evidence from the crime scene. But even then, the controversy did not end. Defense attorneys argued that the DNA evidence was being overstated, while others believed modern science had finally delivered answers after more than 40 years. So what is the truth? A long overdue arrest, or another controversial chapter in the American justice system? What makes this case especially haunting is not only the crime itself, but everything left behind. Families waiting for answers for decades. Men who were convicted, then later exonerated. Other victims whose cases remain unsolved. And an entire community that never fully escaped the fear of 1984. Even today, Kelly Morrissey is still missing. And Jackie Martorella, another young woman who disappeared during the same time period, still has no final answers. Were these cases connected? Or were they simply tragic events that happened during the same era? Even investigators have never offered a definitive conclusion. And perhaps that is exactly why this case continues to haunt people more than 4 decades later. What do you think? Can a confession be more trustworthy than scientific evidence? Or is DNA the only thing that never lies? And if someone spends nearly 20 years imprisoned for a crime they may not have committed, can the system ever truly repair that damage? Leave your thoughts in the comments below.